what's really driving AI and other deep tech.
Lightens the situation, not having that background. Okay, first thing, okay, I've got 19 minutes and 57 seconds. I do want to answer the question that was asked on the previous panel. If you had $1 million, what would you do? Well, I just invested $1 million in a company, and I think it's a tremendous opportunity. And if anyone wants to match me with either $500,000 or another $1 million investment, there's still capacity. So come talk to me afterward. Okay? I don't want to give away the name, but it rhymes with bluemind.ai. No E. Oh, I gave it away. Okay. I just didn't want to give a categorical response. I thought you might like something actual. Okay? Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very grateful to Eamon for inviting me back. And I want to take kind of a long view on some things, so I apologize if I sound a bit asymptotic. That's a big word that physicists use. I was trained as a physicist. That basically says, don't worry about the bumpiness of the ride right now. Let's talk about what the end game is. Where's this all going to head? So with that, let's see what's on that first slide. So yeah, again, for those of you that don't know, this is the 1991 work that Dr. Haber and I started on that led to the blockchain foundations that Satoshi built upon. And as Olga was kind enough to point out, there's several references to it in the Bitcoin white paper. We often say, when asked the question if we know who Satoshi is, we say, well, no one seems to know who Satoshi is, but I guarantee you one thing, Satoshi knows who we are. People are often unfamiliar with the fact that even though we wrote 3 theoretical papers to lay the foundations for blockchain, we also began operating the world's first blockchain on October 13th, 1991, something that has been in continuous operation since then. And so it's been real for a while, doing modest things long before there was a Bitcoin. What people are far less familiar with, however, is, since this is an AIBC conference, 2 years before the work that Stuart and I started on the blockchain, I was getting my PhD dissertation at Stanford, and mine was actually the first PhD in neural networks that Stanford granted. So I've been thinking about AI for a while as well. This, for example, for those of you that might know something about the space, this was a 1987 paper that foreshadowed recurrent neural networks, maybe 15 years before people started to worry about that. So my point is not to try to be impressive in the sense of invented all this cool stuff, but just to say I've been thinking about this. Great. I guess Olga knows that I'm going to wander. I've been thinking about this stuff for a long time, and I'd like to bring you what I think of as a longer-term perspective on what's going on here with technology. So when blockchain, that was also a question that the moderator was asking in the last panel. And as an investor in the blockchain space, as well as the AI space, my first question is, and I don't mean to be rude, do you have a use case that actually adds value? Or are you simply planning to piggyback on this marvelous revolution that we keep on waiting for it to come? And if you don't, then as to win blockchain, if you want to get the timing right, it's never. How does never work? Okay. On the other hand, there are some actual cases that may feel like solutions in search of a problem, but I'm quite confident will flourish as time goes on. And it really comes to the issue of, are you using the blockchain as the universal ledger that it was initially intended to be? Or are you speculating? Okay? Because that long-term ledger use case is going to be viable for a long time. If you have further questions about that, we should talk. But I'd rightly like to put more of the focus over onto the AI side, because as I said, I've been thinking about AI longer than I've been thinking about blockchain. And that seems to be the technology du jour. So let's look at 3 scenarios, okay? I don't know how many of you recognize the Alfred E. Neumann reference here in the title. If you do, raise your hand. Okay? All right, I know how old you are. Okay. Well, what's going to happen with AI? Well, we're all going to lose our jobs, and then we're going to be enslaved by these AI superminds. And then we're going to lose the ability to distinguish between reality and AI-generated fake worlds. And all the while, we're going to be, what are we going to be doing when we're enslaved? We're going to be looking at ads, one ad after another. Okay. It's not going to be a great future. Let's take these one at a time. We're all going to lose our jobs. Anybody know what this is? Okay, this is kind of a toughie, but yeah, give it a shot. Use it to make, you're close. You use it to make yarn, okay? This is a spinning jenny, okay? And of course, before the major industrial revolution, the manufacturing revolution, the real revolution was in textiles, okay? And this was terrifying to textile workers in the UK in the late 1700s. It's the spinning jenny. And it increased productivity first 8-fold and eventually as much as 120-fold of production of yarn, which obviously then led to production of fabric. And the workers in that industry were terrified that they were going to all lose their jobs. Okay? Now, what actually happened? What actually happened was the cost of making clothing, basically, plummeted so much that the demand exploded out of proportion to the reduction in cost. And so there was a tremendous demand for more workers in this industry, not less. Okay? All right, let's try this one. Anybody know what that is? You don't have to be as old as you needed to be to know the spinning jenny. This is a threshing machine in a very early configuration. 250 years ago, what did all of our ancestors do for a living? Yeah, we were all farmers. All of our ancestors were farmers. And maybe we did a little something on the side, okay? With the agricultural revolution, the concern was that all of the farming jobs were going to be lost. And guess what? They were. Okay? Which is why we have, what, 60, 70, 80% unemployment rates right now? Oh, no, we don't. Okay? Because other jobs got created. Okay? When you create a surplus in a space, you simply create more disposable income. And everybody always needs more than they currently have. Okay? That's just a reflection on the human condition. Ergo, new jobs get created. Okay? Are they important jobs? Are they jobs that our agricultural forefathers would have considered vital to the progress of civilization? For example, what about Mr. Beast's job? Well, I don't know how vital it is, but he's got a job. Okay? How about this? What have we got here? Switchboard operators, 1920s. It was the largest single job category in the United States. Okay? And I don't know the last time I interacted with an operator. I don't think I have. And so what happened? Well, you know, they found other jobs. Okay? It's just the nature of the economic beast. Okay? That, and this is a physicist talking, if we can stop worrying about the transient and worry about the long run, increased productivity creates increased GDP, creates more disposable income. That's what creates jobs. As long as things are growing and there's more productivity, and particularly per person in a declining population scenario, there's going to be plenty of jobs. It may not be the job that you currently have, but there's plenty of jobs. Okay, this is ChatGPT version 17.0. I'm sorry, this is an illustration from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, 1906, where these tentacular walking tripods took over the world. And that's where the AI supermind is headed, right? Sorry. You know, when you survey people that actually have PhDs in AI and are active researchers, okay, and you ask them what they think the threat is of AI kind of enslaving mankind, about 97% say, you know, what have you been drinking? And then 3% say, yeah, I think it might actually happen. Now, which do the journalists interview? Okay, if you're a journalist and you want clicks, which of those two groups do you interview? That tells you a little bit about why this is a little bit overblown. And if I had time and this were an academic talk, I would walk through the rationales and whatnot. My shorthand response is, if you're interested in AI and you're not tracking Yann LeCun, you're really missing out. Okay? It's one thing you could do that would greatly broaden and create a more accurate perception in your own mind about what's really going on in AI. I'm just a parrot for a lot of what he says. That's how strongly I agree with that. I don't know if anybody remembers 13 years ago, here's Ken Jennings, okay? And he and the other person that were the Jeopardy biggest winners of all time went up against IBM's Watson, what was it called? Deep Blue, right? No, that was chess. What was it? Deep Mind? That won the Jeopardy challenge. Totally wiped them out. And Ken Jennings' only response on Final Jeopardy when he knew he'd totally lost was, I, for one, welcome our new computer overlords. And if you can believe it, 13 years ago, there was some actually concern that something like this might happen. It lasted about a month, and then we all went on with our jobs, okay? And here we are again. Well, large language models, it's the end of life as we know it. Ask me next year what it is that you're worried about. If you really want to understand what's going to dominate, it's a person that is learning to use the tools well, okay? That's your competition, okay? I sure hope everyone is finding useful ways to make use of Claude or ChatGPT or the diffusion models or something like that. Life just keeps going on, and there's fundamental reasons why this scenario, as much fun as it is to imagine, and particularly if you've got Tom Cruise in a movie about it, That's not how things go. It's not going to play out that way. All right, let's go one more. We will lose the ability to distinguish between the truth, reality, and the falsity, the artificial. Had to laugh. Maybe it was 2 months ago or something, and Tom Hanks has to put out a press release to say, no, I am not endorsing the blah, blah, blah dental plan. Okay? I'm not making this up. You can Google this. Okay? Because somebody had created a deep fake AI video of Tom Hanks endorsing some dental plan. Why they picked the dental plan, who knows? Yeah, so that's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I love this new movie generator. What is it called? Sora? Sora. That just came out last week. Yeah, that's just the way it's going to be from now on. Okay? If you're not in a face-to-face interaction, and I mean not Zoom, I'm talking face-to-face, physical, in the flesh, and you think you're talking to someone, or you hear someone's voice, or you're watching someone's video, that's all going to blur, okay? We're just not going to know, okay? The whole Turing test is misframed, okay? The AIs will easily do better on the Turing test than we will, okay? But it's not the test to worry about. Now, there's something interesting going on in this space, and I don't have a lot of time left, but I'm just going to poke around at it for a little bit. And that is, we seem to have contradictory desires, okay? Namely, okay, I want my privacy protected online. I don't want anyone to know who I am, okay? But when someone does an AI deepfake of me, I want to be able to assert my identity. I very much want people to know who I am, okay? And again, back in that hellish world where those AI superminds have enslaved us and we spend all day just watching ads that we don't want to see, even though they say, oh, they're customized, they're personalized for your needs, okay? And then, as I said last night, not only are they really highly customized for your needs, but if you pay us an extra $10 a month, we'll take them away. Okay? That tells you how effective those ads are and how much we enjoy them. Wouldn't it be neat, though? And quite frankly, I want to be clear, I don't think there's that much blockchain AI mashup activity. I don't think there's going to be that much. But I do think there's one thing that's going to happen that allows us to leverage blockchain and Web3 and deepfakes to solve all three of these problems simultaneously. And since I only have 2 minutes, I can't tell you what it is. But if you follow my Twitter or my LinkedIn feed, wait 24 hours. Let me close, and then I think we have time for a couple of questions. If you're concerned about the pace of innovation or getting left behind, I have a few words of advice for you. One is you should put your phone down, okay? I'm sorry, I see a lot of guilty faces of people who were texting while I was talking and have now temporarily put their phones down, okay? I love this phrase from a leader I admire who wrote, "We will move faster if we hurry less." Okay? You want to take longer strides in a more purposeful direction and not worry about being besieged by everything that's new every day. Remember, it's always going to be the case, okay, that what matters is going to begin and end with people. People who are augmented, people whose capabilities are enhanced by technology, but people are going to be the sources and sinks of the economy for as long as there's an economy, okay? Finally, for those that are in startups and are trying to pitch to me some terrific new thing they have. Learn to distinguish the difference between technology and product. Technology is something that is so cool looking, okay? Product is something that solves somebody's actual problem. And the chasm between those two is still broad and deep. I've got 7 seconds, so I'll call it at that. Thank you, and we can have some questions.
Hi, my name is Tony. I have a question about data protection that you said in the last slide and artificial intelligence. We all know that we need to share our data and information so AI works, right? Without information, AI cannot work. And many people in the world that don't know about AI, don't know about many things about digital, don't want to share information, don't want to share data because of the Facebook thing and other things. People don't know why they don't want to share. They just are scared. How do you think we can manage this situation that people don't want to share data, and with this, AI cannot work?
Sure, I'm happy to take a little of that. Again, I hope it's responsive, not exactly, hope it's responsive to the spirit of your question. So one of my good friends is someone named Eric Lee, who was one of the co-founders of LinkedIn. And when LinkedIn was sold in an all-cash deal to Microsoft for in excess of $26 billion, I turned to Eric and said, you know, Eric, the value of LinkedIn is all of the network of connections that I set up. Okay? Where's my part of that 26 billion? And Eric still hasn't gotten back to me. And, you know, ditto for Facebook and all those other things. I think the real way we want to reposition this, and I very much agree with your point about LLMs needing human data so they can, you know, mimic what humans do. It's vitally important that they get the data, but it ought to be on terms that work for me as an individual. And that's why I say, watch my Twitter and my LinkedIn for the next 24 hours, and maybe there's a way to square the circle. Anyone else? Oh, Vinicius. Okay. Full disclosure, Vinicius and I both invested in that deal that I was promoting just 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right, now, go ahead.
I appreciate you showing us this deal. The third bullet point there, what matters begins and ends with people. And I totally agree with that. And I totally agree with what you said about, yeah, we never ran out of jobs when the agricultural revolution came and so on and so forth. But there is also a view in the world that we are developing so fast that eventually we will be out of what to do, as in universal basic income will come to play a part on it, and so on. And at the same time, a lot of us extract a lot of value in life by doing our jobs. It's what takes the bulk of our day, I would say. So how do you feel like, perhaps not all jobs will be replaced, but a lot of jobs probably will be replaced. And if the universal basic income coming to play a part, they will not be necessary to work again. How do you feel that the human connections to that, or the human, or actually society will behave with that state in mind? What matters begins and ends with people, and with the idea that for a lot of us, work represents big meaning in life.
Yep. I think we're safe, and I don't mean that in a just kind of blow it off sense. I think we're safe as long as we're agile, okay? Namely, your job's going to change, okay? It really is. But the best way, what is it, Alan Kay from Xerox PARC days, who said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it yourself. And it's time for you to be reinventing your jobs, okay? And using all the tools that are available. In a sense, our vision, mine included, I'm not trying to suggest otherwise, our vision is marred because imagine if 250 years ago, when we were all farmers, you said, all the jobs are going to be taken over. But what you really meant was, all the farming jobs are going to be taken over. It's simply that was all we could imagine for jobs, okay? And so when we're looking at AI Supermind, you know, ChatGPT 18.0 with the laser gun and the tentacles, we're saying all current jobs are going to be taken over. Yeah, but there's a whole new world of jobs that comes beyond that and are extensions of what we do now, but better. I'm going to stop it there because I know that. Just want to give time if...
We have more questions, yes.
Okay. Hello. So it was my pleasure to listen to your presentation. And last maybe 7 years, we are working on blockchain projects. And as we see the use cases of blockchain in real world, like as a payment systems, we are using them as a real world, as a tokenization, and so on and so on. So it will be very interesting for me to hear from you as one of the founder of blockchain, how you see after 5 years or in next years, what services or what use cases of blockchain in real world will be kind of accelerated and how it will be used. So what is your vision? How you see with blockchain and maybe there are some will be convergence with AI, both of these two technologies, how they will change our world?
Sure. I guess in general what I'd say is many of the use cases proposed for blockchain still, I think, will be realized. But just because someone is the leader in a certain use case space doesn't mean that they're going to be the leader. I think a lot of the winning blockchain solutions have yet to be created, okay? In other words, I buy the currency thing, but in this generation, everything's frozen up as, you know, speculative, long-term held assets, okay? That's not what money is, okay? Yeah, I know there's unit of account and store of value, but what money really is medium of exchange. And it's just not happening yet, okay? Will it happen? You bet. Will it be any of the existing players? Well, I don't invest in that space, so can't tell you. And follow my Twitter and my LinkedIn for the next 24 hours.
Thank you. Thank you for great presentation. You're talking a lot about AI here.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
You're talking a lot about AI. But do you think that AI will increase or decrease the entry barrier innovation? Because on one side, we have much more deep tech, much more much more sophisticated technology. That's why we have bigger rounds as the initiation of the specific companies. On the other hand, there is much more discussion that in the future we can foresee quite a lot of even new companies starting from just one person who is using a lot of tools that were not possible in the past and can run really significant business without a lot of people just being himself managing a lot of stuff. How do you see in this AI will increase this or decrease this or increase the barrier in this whole innovation?
Okay. To the extent that I've understood your question, and I'm happy to talk more afterwards, the answer is it's going to be a net increase, okay? Things are going to get better. Fundamentally, what we're doing is, and I know I said this last night in a smaller group, we are lowering the cost of capital, okay? When we first started Surety, Stuart and I, okay, we had to hire a full-time person and buy all of our own equipment to set up basically an internet node. Now for $5 a month, I can buy that, okay? That's a huge decrease in the cost of capital, the cost of effective capital. And these tools that help to automate, they are accelerants in that direction. Yes, it's not a completely clear-cut case, but to me, the vast majority of it is going to be, it's going to accelerate the situation, it's going to increase the rate of innovation, and it's going to allow for smaller teams to do more. And the winning teams will be the ones that will put down their phones and actually think of something important. And I hope that's good enough. Happy to talk afterwards. Thank you.